It's a nice change of pace. I'm not doing this in the car.
Mm-hmm.
This is my new room.
It's very nice.
Spacious.
Yes, it's very spacious.
Very, very spacious. Hopefully you'll see more of it in upcoming videos and episodes, which is a major plus, especially doing like text and stuff. But I'm not here to give a tour. You know, it's a very, 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 very good sign when the first thing I say that comes out of my mouth is, what did you think of this movie? It seems like you're upset. And you know what? I'm upset too! Like, oh my god!
Okay, so, we're going to be doing this a little bit differently.
Where do we begin?
Before we begin, we're going to be doing this a little bit differently. We're spoiling the entire movie.
We don't care.
This is a rant video, so if you want to watch this movie...
Look, I'm still shaking.
Yeah, if you want to watch this movie, you might want to not watch this. Because we're spoiling everything. This is one of these... As you can tell, we did not like it.
I mean, okay, if we're going to start somewhere, Thor movies. I remember seeing the first one with you a long time ago.
Yes.
I still enjoy it. I think it's fine.
It was good.
Number 2, I always keep forgetting it exists.
Like, it was good, but it was boring.
The only thing I always remember from that one is just the stuff between Thor and Loki, and that's about it. I feel like that's the only... A lot of people say it's the worst one of the batch, and all the power of the two, I can see why, because some of the humor is awkward and the plot doesn't really go anywhere. But I will say, just the stuff between him and Loki, I remember that a little bit more. There's just something about that that at least keeps it together for me a bit. Everything else is just kind of a blur, except the finale.
Yeah.
I
mean, I personally liked Ragnarok, but I know you didn't.
No, I watched it last night to see if anything changed, and after this movie, I didn't like it first time around, but I didn't hate it. I rewatched it last night, and it's kind of worse than I remembered it. But after seeing this movie, I will give it some props, not a whole lot. Like, at least some of the comic relief characters are kept to a minimum. The stuff between Thor and Loki at least was interesting, because he's trying to go back to Asgard and save it and stop the apocalypse from happening, the Ragnarok, the prophecy. And his brother's all like, nah, we're in this really nifty kind of place, and planet 80s Roman Greek god with Jeff Goldblum as the head of it all. We're fine here. Why should we go back and save? And then the whole big twist is that they're not saving Asgard. They're saving the people who live in Asgard. And if they communicated that better, I would have understood it a little bit more. But even then, the pointlessness of that entry comes right at the beginning of Infinity War, when everyone is slaughtered on that ship. Oops.
I mean, there's some survivors.
I don't care.
Yeah.
They just...
I think it was just supposed to be rubbing salt in the wound that, you know, Ragnarok, Thor goes through all this to save his people just for
And
Thanos.
then at the end it's just, oh, to save Asgard we have to destroy it because our twisted sister, played by Kate Blanchett, which I'll give this much, interesting idea for a villain. I like the idea that they go with it, even though her
it just kind of shows how awful Odin is.
Odin is, yeah.
You know, he used to be a bad guy, and then he had a change of heart, and then he decided to lock away his daughter instead of trying to talk reason to her. So you don't blame her for being pissed off when she finally gets released. And then he tells his two sons, oh, by the way, I'm about to die. Oh, by the way, you have a sister, and she's out for blood. Okay, bye.
Poof. What? Uh-oh.
Yes. Yes, but we're not talking about Ragnarok. No. We are talking about Thor, Love and Thunder. I have a different name for this. It should have been called Thor, Phobos and Deimos, Pain and Panic. Or Thor and the What the Fuck Did We Just Watch?
If they were voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait and Matt Fewer, I'd be more forgiving, but...
Or Thor, let's bring back the love interest, and she's dead. Oh, you guys were excited? We're getting a female Thor, and she's dead.
In the comics, it was supposedly, from what I heard, a little more tragic.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
They did this whole dramatic storyline from what I heard. I can't confirm it. I heard it was done so much differently. And from what I understand, for the people who love the comic, they are not liking the movie. But for those who have not read the comic, like the movie. Well, you're looking at two people who've not read the storyline. Our thumbs.
I did not like that movie.
No. Oh my god.
I did not like that movie.
I am trying to hold back so much.
I did not like it.
I don't know.
I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Okay, we're not talking about the Rubo.
Okay. Just so this is not a rant video. Good stuff. Christian Bale as Gore.
He looked like Voldemort, but he was interesting.
At least from a writing standpoint, he's an interesting character. The motives that he's given are interesting. I like the idea that he's going after these gods because they're just leisure characters at their will. That I like. I think his motive works. His plan's a bit of a mess. I didn't understand what he was trying to do. Was he trying to get in this other realm to make a wish or something like that? Because at first I thought he was going to go around and kill all the gods.
Well, it felt like the whole making a wish thing was just something they pulled out of their ass.
Oh.
And then it's like, oh, he wants to make a wish. And then it sounds like the wish is he wants to wish all gods were dead. And then it's like, no, he just wanted to bring his daughter back. But he wanted to kill the gods in the process.
Okay, that makes it even more tough because he's giving such a good performance.
Yeah.
He was
great.
Really giving his heart out for something.
I just wish they didn't make him look like Voldemort. It's like, could he have gone with a different design? Does he look like that in the comics? Then maybe they made Voldemort look like him.
I do not know.
You know, they could have done the movie with just, photoshopping Voldemort out of Harry Potter and just putting him in this instead.
Oh, that's pretty close.
Well, he doesn't look like Voldemort there.
No, he looks like Groot with...
Yeah, they could have had him look like that. I don't know, maybe he has a tentacle fetish. But yeah, he was good. The Guardians, when they were briefly in it, that I liked because, their stuff was actually pretty decent. They had a one line that made us laugh. One
funny joke, and it's when they're getting off this planet after they destroy it while saving the process. Oops! Can't wait to talk about that issue. They go to, like,
Oh, they're gonna go and leave in,
Yeah, and, not Quill, I forgot his name. Michael Rooker's... Yondu! Yondu's second hand comes in, and he's like, look, I just married this brand new person! And then Peter's all like, we go to every other planet, you can't get into marriage! You can't marry every person on every planet!
Yeah,
that got a laugh out of me, because that was a nice little callback to the first film.
Yeah.
Oh.
But, yeah,
The visuals are interesting when they go to, like, the Shadow Zone realm, and it turns to black and white, and you see little bits of color.
Yeah.
I'll give points to creativity. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I love movies that play around with saturation.
And I know people were trying to say that the special effects in this movie weren't that good, but I thought they were decent.
They were okay.
Yeah,
they were fine when you could actually see them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole battle with shadow monsters, and it's done in the dark. And how can you get invested in something when...
I think they were trying to compete with Game of Thrones.
Really?
Yeah, with the night battle
Oh.
in the season where you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
You could hear it, but you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So yeah, visuals were decent.
I think that's it.
Yes.
Wow.
So Jane was in 1, 2, and then this one. And, we're all like, oh, I wonder how she becomes Thor. Is she like another universe, Jane? No, she has cancer. And she gets the idea, I guess, like the hammer was calling to her. And that's how she became, she Thor. And it's like, oh, good, she's going to live. And it's like, oh, no, even though the hammer gave her the power of becoming a god all of a sudden, she's still going to die of cancer.
Whoops.
And that's exactly what happens. She ends up dying. Because every time she uses the hammer, it makes her weaker and weaker.
You bring back someone a lot of people I know are very split on Natalie Portman's character. But what's the point of bringing someone back when you're just going to axe her off right then and there?
You could have killed her in the next movie.
There's really no emotional buildup.
No, because it's like she wasn't around, and there was such a huge gap between like Thor 2 and Thor 3 that you kind of forgot. Oh, Jane who? Oh, his ex-girlfriend. And what was with the weird thing with him and his weapons? That was not a thing in the other movies.
Oh, why?
Like
why?
The axe is being jealous of the hammer.
So they're anthropomorphic eyes. So there's a scene where he tries to get his original hammer back. You see the axe float in a frame like it's something out of a Chuck Jones cartoon.
Could you imagine if I did it on my web series? If I had like the razor blade and the face pistol, having a fight because they're jealous of each other?
No, what would be funnier is if you just cut to a therapy session. So tell me, what is your concern about your owner? You just see them on like the little lounge bed. They have lips. We're a little struggling. We were crafted as props.
Yeah, we were props. And Susan threw me away because she did something bad. Now I just show up in nightmares.
So the whole plot that Gore has is that he's kidnapping all the kids of Asgard, so he can get Thor's weapon, Stormbreaker axe, and he could have just taken it there. And he goes in the Shadow Realm. It's a trap, so he could unlock the key to go to the other place, even though all the gods keep saying there is no eternal reward for you. There's so much meandering. Like, it feels like I should examine this scene.
What was with Zeus's skirt?
Oh, Zap Brannigan's Zeus, played by Russell Crowe.
Yes, why was he wearing a skirt?
He's not Zeus, he's Juice. He's lower than Zeus. He doesn't even deserve the name Juice.
And why was he talking like an Italian? He's supposed to be Greek.
Supposedly, from what I understand, they shot 2 versions of his scenes, one where he talked normal and one with an Italian accent. And they just went with the Italian accent because comedy, I think.
It would have made more sense if it was Greek.
I was snickering.
Greek. He's a Greek god, not Italian.
Well, the Romans stole from the Greeks, and Rome is in Italy, so maybe that's...
But they should...
But there's no setup to it.
They should have had him
There's no setup to that.
If it was supposed to be Roman, then have
him be
Jupiter.
Jupiter, yeah.
Yeah, Jupiter. Because when you say Zeus, I think of, Zeus!
Yeah.
Not the planet Jupiter.
If he's supposed to be Zeus, or if he's supposed to be some incarnation of Zeus, I mean, on paper it sounds like it could work. This is the Zeus that loves orgy and things like that, and he's a bit of a lazeabout. That's actually pretty accurate to the Greek myth, but they still make him so dumb and comedic.
Yeah, that whole thing. And the gods... What?
The little, like...
Yes! And then the gods, there's a weird dumpling god. What the? And then the Game of Thrones spoof with the scissors.
Oh, where like rock biter, not funny comic relief as a god, and he's on a throne that has like scissors or whatever.
Which makes sense.
Because rock, scissors beat rock. He's a rock sitting on a throne of scissors. Here, take this. No, not for you. Me, please. Right here. Do me a please, right here. Use that pillow. Yeah.
I don't want to use you as a pillow, though.
No, not like that. I need to get sense into me.
Okay. Oh, you wanted me to whack you?
Yeah, with a pillow.
Oh.
I don't want to...
This movie. This movie.
Rock, paper, scissors, throne? Are you...
I think that was what the joke was supposed to be.
Oh, I really can't stand this movie. Oh my... I'm trying not to nitpick my way through this thing, but it's just so...
The Thor movies.
Off tone.
What direction are you trying to go into? The first 2 were serious. Ragnarok was funny, but to me it still worked. But this one was like, we're gonna try to be Ragnarok. It's like, yeah, but you just made it. You took a little bit of time that was decent, and then you just exposed it so bad. Like, it's supposed to be a serious movie, but they had so much stupid, dumb humor in it that it took away from the mood. And the Rock guy, I don't recall him being that annoying in Ragnarok, and in this, it's like, shut up!
The only thing I can think of is that when you have a serious dramatic element, like questioning life, the universe, and everything, I understand putting in light moments. I understand trying to keep it like light and brush, but oh my goodness, no. You go as brief as you can. You want to. It's like this movie's afraid of doing something dramatic and deep, and when it goes for those moments, it's either ruined with this yuck of a laugh that doesn't even work. The closest it does is the ending when they actually go to eternity, but after so much plotting and pandering and extending and line-o-rama moments which don't add up or pay off.
Like,
this could have been such a unique movie of itself. You can just see it right then and there, but it's plugged in with comedy. If you cut those jokes out, you would maybe have like an hour and 40 minutes, or even something shorter if you really took a chainsaw to it and cut out all the exposition.
Because that was another problem too. The movie just kept going.
They just kept repeating, remember this of the first movie, let's retell it. Remember this element from movie number 3, we're going to retell it. Oh, you don't know about the relationship between Thor and Jane? We're going to retell it in a comedic way. Like, oh my goodness, just tell a story. Don't stop for a joke or feeding this exposition that we don't know or care.
For those who have
if you're gonna do it cleverly, do it visually. Like okay, the scene when Thor and Jane meet again for the first time. They see each other. There's a house burning in the background. Cuts to black. Rockbiter says, "I'm going to tell how this whole thing happened." Wouldn't it be more interesting if they see each other and then like you zoom into their eyes and you see like the flashbacks play out as they're looking at each other? Execution is key, and the execution on this thing is so off-tone, it doesn't know if it wants to be serious or funny. And that's what really aggravates me about this.
Alright, for those who have watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know that Joss Whedon can do really serious stuff, but then he has humor in it. But you see, with his material, he makes it work. Like, you know, Buffy had a ton of funny episodes, but it also had a ton of really sad or serious episodes. This movie felt like it was trying to be a Joss Whedon thing, but just completely missed the point, where it's mostly humor. Oh, we're supposed to be serious. Okay, humor. And bad humor.
Pick a tone.
Like, not even good humor.
This is so inconsistent of itself, and just a little bits of comedy. There's a scene where they're on the flying boat with the screaming
and the goats!
Oh my god, the goats.
Oh my god, I wanted to kill those goats.
You lean over to me and you're like, what's with the screaming goats? Oh, it's an internet meme there.
Oh my god, I seriously...
Or the running gag, or Jane's like trying to get a catchphrase and they try to pay it off at the end.
It's like, it doesn't matter because she's gonna die. And if we were the only ones in the theater, I would have screamed at one point, "Shut the fuck up!" at the goats, because they were so... little violin noise in my head. Every single time they would scream.
Yep. Can I ask an honest question? This is half joking. Did you choose this movie just to see Chris Hemsworth's ass on the big screen?
No.
Okay.
No. It's just because, you know, I thought the trailer looked good.
I'm not judgmental, just asking.
I mean, he does have a nice butt, though.
Compared to mine.
Your butt is better. Well, you asked.
I asked for it. I got it.
If I'm to quote Janet, from Rocky Horror Picture Show, I don't like men with too many muscle.
I didn't do them for you.
I mean, he doesn't. Well, I don't know. No. I'm one of these people that actually liked kind of chubby Thor better. I thought he looked better.
I thought that was going somewhere anyway. Hey, maybe he had the dad bod on for the ending. Would that be interesting? Given how it...
I mean, I liked how he looked at Endgame when he did have the Thor armor. He looked more like, you know, a Viking.
Yeah, a Viking.
Because Vikings were not like super six-pack ab. No, they were just beefy men. And he had that look, and then it's like, oh, we're going to make him into Muscle Man again. So,
it's just... And also the stuff they did with Valkyrie's character, like, they make her the head of Asgard. Okay, New Asgard. Sorry, New Asgard. So I don't have to correct myself in the editing
Yeah.
software. I still have to anyway. Ah, God. She's made King of New Asgard. Fine. I'm cool with this. I thought she had an interesting character arc in the first movie.
Yeah.
One of the few things I actually admit was interesting, that she was part of this whole group of Valkyries, and she, like, nearly died and is, like, a boozer and stuff because of the things that she lost, like her girlfriend and her team. Great! The fact she's going through this drama, fine, and she's the head of this whole new place. Okay, I'm cool with this. First big battle scene she's in, she goes in with a Phantom of the Opera t-shirt.
I didn't even catch that, to be honest.
There's no armor, there's no, like, suit you can, like, put on or something for battles. Where was I? Oh yeah, the treatment of the character. So, for a good bulk of the movie, like, at least for, like, the first, like, 10 or 20 minutes she's in this thing, you'd think for once she'd put on a bathrobe or something. Like, this is your lead that's running this whole new place, and you're treating her like a comic relief. Like, yeah, she was a little bit of a comic relief in the last one, but here she is with a new responsibility and leading this whole place. Like, why are you treating her like a comedic relief when she's earned so much in this position?
Yeah, and then New Asgard is just like a amusement park, like the stupid Old Spice commercial.
I stopped my forehead when I saw that. I literally facepalmed myself when I saw that. I'm like, this is your character, folks. She had a strong, unique motive in the last film, and here she is treated as a joke to the point she's being used for an in-movie Old Spice ad. Thanks! And bad enough, they already shelved the Batgirl movie. You suddenly heard about that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I don't need to elaborate.
All the Marvel movies that I've seen, overall, I have liked them, even if they weren't my favorite. This is probably the first one that I have watched that I literally do not like. Like, I don't ever want to watch this again.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to erase it from my mind. That's how bad it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's all I got, just ugh. I've heard legends about this thing, and they definitely lived up to those legends. Like
I heard mixed things about it, but I thought I would have at least still enjoyed it. I thought it was...
oof.
It wasn't good. It was not good.
No.
That was really bad. That was probably like the worst movie I've seen in a long time.
You say that now just because I didn't see the Firestarter remake.
Oh, I saw Amanda the Jedi's review of that.
Yeah, I suffered through that one for you. You dodged a bullet because I
Love you too.
This was just...
I felt like I wasted 2 hours of my life.
It's a shame because when we go to see a movie, even a summer blockbuster that's trying to be entertaining, we want to be the wrong. We want to go in and be like, okay, we have low expectations. We want the film to at least be entertaining. Like, you hear so much about it. You hear so much good. You hear so much bad. But at the end of the day, you just want to go in and just have a good time. And when it does not provide that, all you can just look back and go, yeah, I experienced it, so let's move on to the next big thing.
Yeah.
And we've had a good track record this summer. There weren't too many bad flicks.
No.
I mean, there were some god-awful ones, to say the least, but there was good.
Yeah.
There was good.
I actually like Jungle Cruise more than this movie.
What about Dollman? I'm gonna pay for that one. All right, if it. Oh, sorry, love you.
And by the way, Dollman was better. I can't believe I'm saying that.
If it helps, I unfortunately had to discard the poster because it was all crinkly.
That's a shame.
It was a good poster.
The problem with Dollman was just like
execution.
What the fuck was going on? It's like, do you not believe in light bulbs? Do you
Yeah.
believe in light bulbs? They light up your room, and that way you can see what's going on. Do you believe in light bulbs?
I do.
Not Dollman, apparently.
You say that now, but wait until the disaster piece on this Dollman vs. Demonic Toys. No, I'd rather not show you that one.
Oh, as in they actually made another Dollman movie?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It did not work.
Oh, really?
You saw clips of it in my review.
Oh, yes, I did.
I'm pulling hair out of my mouth. I'm sorry.
Oh, are you going to review this one on your show, too?
What, Thor Love and Thunder? God, no.
No. The Dollman sequel.
Oh, well, there is something I'm doing for October, so maybe in about 3 or 5 years from now.
Okay.
Well, I want to do subspecies next year.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
And I not just mean the first one, I mean like the whole trilogy. You know?
Yeah, I like subspecies.
Yeah, that was fun, you know?
I did not like this Thor. Oh my god, Thor. This was
I mean, moving forward, what do you think of the MCU, given they have like a whole phase 4?
I mean, aside from Thor, I do like it. So, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Loki, but I did like WandaVision. I love the... Well, Far From Home I liked. No Way Home I loved. Didn't see Eternals. I heard mixed things about that.
I only survived the first 20 minutes. I just said, I'm going to sleep. Click.
I mean, overall, though, I have been liking Phase 4 so far. This is the only one, the only movie of Marvel I don't like.
I've only seen Spider-Man, No Way Home, and Doctor Strange 2, so I really can't speak for the entirety of Phase 4, because I haven't seen a good bulk to get an idea of how I feel about it incomplete.
WandaVision was amazing. I loved WandaVision.
I did hear things about
that. That was fantastic.
And I know this is getting a lot of flack, because when you look at the past phases, they were building to something.
Well, this one is like a multiverse thing, because there's going to be 2 new Avenger movies. Yeah, I think this is like the multiverse saga, where, you know, the first one was Thanos, and this one's the multiverse.
I think from my point of view, what they're trying to do is take what they got that's at least active. Because so many stories have been wrapped up. So many concepts and characters have gone from one storyline to the next, and they're just sort of testing the waters and seeing where can we go from here, what can we do from that. I know Kevin Feige saying it's about the aftermath of the end game, but I think for me personally, and this is something you can argue or detest, because Marvel has these properties back now, it's a case of just them going, okay, what stories can we continue telling? Which ones can we continue telling, not franchise-wise, but keep going? What still has more legs? And there's some I can see. Some, on the other hand, might be a little difficult to get off the ground. And I think here they're trying to see where the limit is in the sky. And I can definitely say that if they're going this route, that's similar to the Jack Kirby era of comics, where it was high-concept material, like gods and goddesses and things like that. Okay, fine, but if you're really going to take this seriously, like, find a tone. Because back then in the 60s and 70s, a lot of that material was like really hokey and goofy, and to try and put that in a more serious manner, I'm not saying it's impossible to do, but you really got to hit that middle ground so it's executed perfectly. And this one, I can see where the Jack Kirby isms are trying to work, such as the planet where the gods meet up and things like that, but when it's treated in such a comedic fashion, that's where it kills it. For me, I think when I think of stuff like Gods and Goddesses, I immediately think of Clash of the Titans, the original.
Yeah.
Because there is a balance between camp and seriousness. It's being presented as this big Shakespeare tragedy, but with unique special effects.
Yeah.
And here, what they did was they took the Shakespeare tragedy and turned it into a cardboard cutout high school play comedy. And that would have been more interesting to see.
Yeah.
This was just... I can't recommend this. There's friends of mine that have seen
this isn't even so bad it's good territory.
No.
This is just bad.
This was like...
this isn't even a popcorn flick. It's like, just stick to the first 3 Thors.
You know, I thought that whole him killing Zeus was going to go somewhere, and it didn't.
And Zeus didn't actually die.
No.
If you watch, there's a mid-credit scene where Zeus is pretty much...
Send forth my son Hercules.
Yeah, so, and what they turned Hercules into, it's like, that is not Hercules. That is not Hercules.
No. What do you mean Hercules? No.
That's more like, I need to scrub my eyes out with Soapules, because that was not Hercules.
And what was of that ending where she goes to Valhalla and meets the gatekeeper from the
so
movies?
I became a god for like 5 minutes, so now I can die like a god and go to god heaven. Which it's kind of implying it's like, is it a deal that they can magically somehow come back?
I don't get it. This was... Boy. This is so off-tone.
I don't know if this was even worse than the Jurassic World movies. No, I would still rather watch this than those movies. I mean, the third Jurassic World movie was better than Thor, I would say.
If you cut out the stuff with
new
new characters...
Yeah, get rid of the new characters.
Get rid of the new characters. If you just had the old characters...
Yeah, because the movie was fine without the new characters. Yeah. If they got rid of that stupid plot and just had to be the Locust plot with the original characters... Get rid of the first 2 Jurassic Worlds. Okay, you're in the trash, bye. Get rid of the new characters. Okay, goodbye.
Dunk.
And just have Jurassic World be the third movie with the Locust, with the original characters. There you go.
Yeah.
That would have been a decent sequel.
As much as I hate to admit it, I do agree. If you just cut out the stuff with the newer characters, you'd have like maybe a 70-minute blockbuster on your hands.
Yeah.
And I've previewed the deleted scenes of the extended cut. They don't add anything.
Oh, no.
I mean, aside from the opening prologue, which you saw in like teaser trailers and stuff, it's like, I don't know, like a dinosaur fight, they added it in as a comedic scene, and there's like extra stuff with some of the older characters, but it doesn't really go anywhere. There's a scene where Chris Pratt with the duck-billed dinosaur that he rescues and hands off some rustlers, I guess. I don't know. It didn't really add much. It didn't add much. From what I've seen.
So yeah, we would not recommend watching this movie.
Nope.
Don't watch it.
Nope.
If you're watching this review, then you probably won't watch it then.
Is it the worst of the MCU? I can't say that, but I can
to
say...
me, it is.
To me, it's one of the weakest.
Yeah.
And I say that because I've not seen Eternals. I've
Neither
not
have
seen Black Widow.
Black Widow was nice. I like Black
I've heard that one's okay.
I felt like it... I mean, they did have... I felt like it should have been released before... Obviously, it should have been released...
Just before Endgame, yeah.
Yeah, or... It takes place before Infinity War,
Yeah.
so it should have been released then.
Yeah, it's...
Because then they do a post-credit thing after the Black Widow dies, obviously, but it's like they should have released this movie... They should have released this movie before.
Yeah, I
mean, I did try to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and my sister and I could only get through, like, the first episode of that, because I can't... Like, I like Bucky. But Sam, the character of Sam, I'm sure he's fine in the comics, but I can't stand him in the MCU because he's just...
Yeah.
And I haven't seen Hawkeye, the Hawkeye show, but Hawkeye's not exactly a favorite character of mine either, so... But I will say those shows are probably still better than this movie. Because this movie was just... It turned my mind into mush.
Yeah. It's okay, we still have the Guardians holiday special. That's a thing. And it is canon with the movies.
As long as it's better than the Star Wars holiday special.
Wouldn't it be great if just midway through the movie they have Bill Hader in there, but in the role of B. Arthur as the bartender? It's not the threat. They just have all that random holographic stuff like in the holiday special. And then the mid-centerpiece is the Jefferson Starship performance. Nah, they'll probably do something different.
Righty then.
So, we only had 2 trailers.
Yes,
and they look
Black
better than the movie.
Well, that looks good.
Yeah.
And the other trailer was the IMAX re-release of Jaws.
Yep.
Aside from that, it was bad. Yeah. You know what? They should have just played Jaws instead. This movie is so bad, we're just going to play Jaws.
Click.
Here you go. Brings down an IMAX screen out of the sky.
But I thought you were afraid of IMAX.
Well, say if they imported it.
Oh, I see what you're getting.
Like, we're still at the theater that we went to today, but they just have it drop out of, like, it opens, like the roof opens up and then you see this ginormous screen coming down. Yeah, so yes, that was bad. That was bad. All right, want to go to a cookout?
What are you talking about? It's already here.
Oh yes, it is. We're gonna eat some food now, and hopefully it'll erase the memory of this god-awful movie from our minds. Because that was bad.
Remember, folks, have physical media on standby in case of crappy movies. Later.
Bye.
I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest.
I'm going to clean up my tick.